Welcome to the Advanced Design Public Touchpoint for the Carolina Pines Avenue Improvement Project. The city's design consultant for this project is H.W. Lochner. The project includes the entire length of Carolina Pines Avenue from Lake Wheeler Road to South Saunders Street. The area is primarily residential, but there are a few places of worship along the corridor as well. Carolina Pines Avenue crosses the dam for Carolina Pines Lake and the Norfolk Southern Railroad train tracks. Carolina Pines Avenue is currently a two-lane roadway. There is no posted speed limit along the roadway. Although it lies within the city limits and a statutory speed limit of 35 miles per hour is in effect, speeding along this corridor is an issue. A speed study conducted in August 2018 found that the average speed was 39.8 miles per hour, but maximum speeds of close to 60 miles per hour were recorded. The rolling terrain and curvy linear alignment are not conducive to excessive speeds. There are public utilities consisting of water and sanitary sewer, as well as private utilities that include Duke Energy and AT&T Communications that serve the area. Raleigh Transit operates Route 7L along the corridor. Transit stop locations along the corridor will be consolidated based on a ridership study completed in 2019. Currently, no transit amenities exist except at two locations between Granite Street and South Saunders Street, and there are no sidewalks or bicycle accommodations along the corridor. As noted previously, there is a railroad crossing, and the road crosses the dam at Carolina Pines Lake. The purpose of this project is to improve safety and mobility of all users along the corridor. Capacity is adequate and no new vehicle lanes are proposed. As with other Raleigh roadway improvement projects, facilities for pedestrians and cyclists are proposed in the form of a sidewalk on one side of the roadway, a boardwalk across Carolina Pines Lake, and a multi-use path on the other side of the roadway. Several design challenges were identified early in the design process that shaped the proposed project improvements. One of the more prominent features of the project corridor is Carolina Pines Lake Dam. Oversight of the dam is provided by the North Carolina Dam Safety Program. Early coordination meetings with representatives from this program indicated that there could not be any modifications to the embankment or elevation of the dam. This unique circumstance presented the challenge of providing connectivity for the proposed pedestrians and bicycle facilities throughout the corridor. This challenge was resolved by proposing a 12-foot wide boardwalk across Carolina Pines Lake. Another very prominent feature of the corridor is the railroad crossing. Communications and permitting with railroad representatives is underway. The improvements will include a new crossing surface, sidewalks across the right-of-way, relocation of existing crossing protection, gate arms and flashing lights, and new advanced warning markings and signs. A less prominent element of the corridor is the presence of a Duke Energy transmission line and easement that runs along Carolina Pines Avenue from Quaker Landing across Lake Wheeler Road on the western end of the project. Part of the Lake Wheeler Road and Carolina Pines intersection lies within this easement. Duke Energy enforces strict adherence to their guidelines for development within their easements. Coordination with Duke Energy and NCDOT has shaped the intersection improvements and design of the proposed signalized intersection at Carolina Pines and Lake Wheeler Road. The existing horizontal and vertical alignment of Carolina Pines Avenue does not meet modern-day design standards for the new 25 miles per hour posted speed. Furthermore, with the addition of pedestrian facilities, Americans with Disabilities Act compliance is also required. The project will include several areas where corrections to the vertical alignment will be constructed to be in compliance with the current design standards. Finally, public water and sanitary sewer facilities are present in the corridor. These facilities have been rated by the City of Raleigh's Public Utility Department. Where ratings are poor and facilities warrant replacement is recommended. The typical roadway section is shown on this slide looking east. This is an undivided two-lane roadway with two 11-foot wide travel lanes, curb and gutter, a 6-foot wide concrete sidewalk on the north side of the roadway, and a 10-foot wide paved multi-use path along the south side of the roadway. The project also includes street lighting, landscaping, and public art component incorporated within the project limits. A traditional roundabout is proposed at Granite Street with a mini roundabout at Oak Street. Roundabouts improve traffic flow, help slow traffic, and have been found to have significant positive impacts on intersection safety. A roundabout was considered at Lake Wheeler Road intersection. However, a signalized intersection design was ultimately selected for the following reasons. Traffic operations and field conditions were not conducive for efficient roundabout design. Duke Energy transmission easement guidelines and restrictions, NCDOT coordination and approval, right-of-way impacts, and access to adjacent properties. The Granite Street roundabout was chosen to resolve an awkward configuration of Carolina Pines and Granite Street intersection. Currently, this location is a T intersection, with Carolina Pines Avenue as its southern and eastern legs and Granite Street as its western leg. Granite Street is stop sign controlled on the approach to Carolina Pines Avenue. Carolina Pines Avenue has the right-of-way, although it makes a 90-degree turn at the intersection. The roundabout will slow vehicle speed and eliminate this awkward and confusing configuration. As noted previously in this presentation, the purpose of the project is to improve safety and mobility within the corridor. It is also mentioned that the vehicular speeds are a common concern amongst residents. In addition to posting a 25-mile-an-hour speed limit sign, the project will implement traffic calming measures. These measures consist of horizontal deflection methods such as splitter islands and a mini roundabout. These measures create the lateral shift with a narrowing of travel lane width that will result in slower vehicular speeds. The railroad crossing presented a unique challenge to the project team. The railroad, like Duke Energy, enforces strict adherence to guidelines for at-grade railway crossings. There are stipulations for materials used within the railroad right-of-way, as well as the width of the roadway elements. The sidewalk widths must be narrow and against the back of the curb. The picture on this slide shows a similar railroad crossing in another part of Wake County. Transit stops will be improved within the corridor. Several coordination meetings with Raleigh Transit have helped to identify the need and location of proposed transit stop locations. The new locations will include a concrete pad, shelter, bench, and trash receptacles. The transit stop locations are identified on the project maps available on the project webpage. Altering Carolina Pines Lake Dam to provide sidewalk and/or a multi-use path adjacent to the roadway is not considered reasonable or feasible for this project. Therefore, a boardwalk structure is proposed across Carolina Pines Lake to provide continuity and safety for pedestrians and bicyclists. Opportunities to implement green stormwater infrastructure or GSI practices on this project are limited due to the existing development, elevations of adjacent land, and the seasonal high water table. The project design team is planning to implement a bioretention basin near Quaker Landing and grass swales to reduce nitrogen counts before stormwater runs into receiving waters. The project will include landscaping in the right-of-way. Landscaping will enhance the overall aesthetics and have seasonal sensory interest. A palette of native and naturalized plants that are low maintenance and drought resistant have been selected for this project. The landscape design will account for sight distance lines from driveways and side streets, street lighting, and utilities. Images of the plant species selected for this project are shown on the project website. The construction of this project is complex due to grading operations and the number of access points that must remain open. To minimize disruption, the project will be completed in 9 phases that include 7 detours. The detours are necessary to accomplish the grading required as well as constructing the boardwalk. Much like in 2011 when dam improvements were constructed, Carolina Pines Avenue will be closed while the boardwalk structure is under construction. The detours proposed for the construction phase of the project improvements are located on the project webpage for review. Detours can be expected to be in place for a couple weeks to several months depending on the complexity of the construction operations required for each phase. We have held 2 prior public touchpoints and have listened to your comments. Your feedback can generally fit into one of the categories shown on this slide. Traffic calming measures, including speed limit signs, median islands, and mini roundabouts, will be installed to control vehicle speeds. The project is adding pedestrian and bicycle amenities to accommodate all travel modes. Enhanced transit stops and amenities are also proposed. Curbing and sidewalks are being extended on Henslow Avenue to provide continuity with existing facilities in the area. Drainage concerns will be addressed with the new storm drain system. One of the topics that received a great deal of attention is the proposed intersection control at Lake Willow Road. For reasons stated earlier in the presentation, a traffic signal controlled intersection has been selected for construction. We hope that today's presentation helped you understand the complexities of this project and the decisions that have been made to shape the design of it. We are currently at the Advanced Design Public Touchpoint in the project schedule. We anticipate some delays due to the pandemic, but are pushing forward. Right-of-way agents should be reaching out to property owners this spring and fall, and if there are no other delays, the project should be under construction by winter of 2021. The City Council will be receiving an update on this project in mid-February. At the conclusion of that presentation, City Council will be asked to authorize the project for condemnation, consistent with the project delivery process enhancement approved by City Council in November of 2020. Additionally, this action will set a no earlier than date for potential condemnation lawsuits, establishing a defined period of negotiation between the property owners and the city staff and representatives. The goal of this process change is to establish consistency throughout the negotiation process and provide more uninterrupted time for negotiation between property owners and city staff and representatives. We anticipate the project will take 2 years to complete. Please visit the project website to check for any changes to the project schedule. We appreciate your interest in the Carolina Pines Avenue Improvement Project and taking time to review this presentation. We also appreciate your feedback provided at public touchpoints and, where feasible, have modified the design to address your concerns. The project is currently under review by permitting agencies, and our real estate agents will be reaching out to property owners this summer and fall to begin the right-of-way and easement negotiation process. If you have any questions on the design or the right-of-way acquisition process, please contact the project manager at the phone number or email address shown on this slide. We also encourage your feedback. Please take a moment to take the survey using the link shown below in this presentation. Once again, thank you for your continued interest in the Carolina Pines Avenue Improvement Project.